We do not consent.
Now, please note they were using this back in 1977. Electronic mind control machines were championed at SRI by Dr. Carl Pribram, Director of Neuropsychology Research Laboratory. I certainly could educate a child by putting an electrode in the lateral hypothalamus and then selecting the situations in which I stimulate it. In this way, I can grossly change his behavior. Psychology Today touted Pimbram as, quote, the Magellan of brain science, end quote. He obtained his degrees BS, MD at the University of Chicago. SRI studied how the brain processes and stores sensory imagery. He is credited with discovering that mental imaging bears a close resemblance to the hologram projection, the basis for transmitting images to the brains of test subjects under the misnomer of remote viewing. The SRI-PSI experiments were supervised at Langley, Virginia by John McMahon, second in commander under William Casey, succeeding Bobby Ray Inman. The SAIC director, McMahon, has, according to Philip Agee, the CIA whistleblowing exile, an affinity for, quote, technological exotics for the CIA covert actions. He was recruited from the agency after his graduation from Holy Cross College, a Jesuit school, and he is a former director of the Technical Services Division, Deputy Director for Operations, and in 1982, McMahon was appointed Deputy Director of the CIA. He left the agency 6 years later to take the position of President of Lockheed Missiles and Space Systems Group. In 1994, he moved to the Draper Laboratories. He is the Director of Defense Enterprise Fund and an advisor to the congressional committees. Many of the SRI empaths were mustered from L. Ron Hubbard's Church of Scientology. Harold Puthoff, the Institute's senior researcher, is a leading Scientologist. So you get an idea of the characters here we're dealing with, but also how long this mind control hologram has been being implanted into people's brains. To illustrate how easily and simply technology has been able to manipulate the human mind, this is an abstract from a patent that was taken out in the United States back in 2001. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. Psychological effects have been observed in a human subject in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields that are pulsed with certain frequencies near the half hertz or 2.4 hertz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitudes to cause such excitation. It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer or TV set. On the TV, the imaging pulsing may be embedded in the program material, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream either as an RF signal or as a video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonances in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. So what this means is through our plasma TVs, and this is why when plasma just came out back in 2001, they're able to use the plasma TVs to change and alter the brainwave frequencies of everyone that is watching a TV or holding the TV or computer monitors, such as what you're looking at this on.
It's if you look at what we do now, it's what happened to the apes in this beautiful experiment. I love this story. I have to repeat it every time I'm on stage. They tried to teach apes to use money. It took 3 days. They knew how it works. After 3 weeks, the boys in the ape family started to steal and betray, and the girls started to prostitute themselves. And after 6 weeks, the biologists who run the project decided to stop the project because they could see the social patterns fall to bits and pieces, getting self-destructive and ugly. And then they decided to take the money away again. Big mistake. The apes were not willing to let go of this. They were beating the biologists up when they tried to get the money back. And this is gaming addiction. And every single human who is part of economy has fallen to this gaming addiction. And the core of this gaming addiction is scarcity. We think we don't have enough. This is why we grab as much as we can. This is what creates the idea of money and the idea to possess things. This is not nature. This is a demonic program to bring us into self-destructive patterns. Look at the Red Indians in America, at the native tribes. They don't have money, they have love. And if we all understand the game, we can just say, hey, stupid game, let's let go of it. And we can stop playing these thing that basically is nothing else than being afraid of self-responsibility. And I think we are at the point in history where every single individual should master that, to regain self-responsibility. And then we will not need a government. It's not about changing the government. Because the entire concept of governments, having somebody to control, is demonic. It's not about replacing people. It will never work. We need to replace the game.
Since much of the evidence presented here about targeting individuals and the actual devices used comes from Dr. Robert Duncan, I wanted to read part of his bio about why he has the knowledge to comment the way he has. Harvard College honors computer science, minor in pre-med and advanced degrees, Harvard, Dartmouth in business and science, neural networks, virtual reality, EEG, controlled robotics, worked for the DoD, Navy, NATO, various intelligence agencies, science projects, worked integrating HARP, so we'd know about the electromagnetic frequencies, a couple other spook agency names here. I've worked on projects for the Justice Department, tracking terrorists, developed system for the FBI to track license plates at toll booths, worked on the Soldier 2000 program, worked in telemedicine, robotic surgery, virtual reality applications for the Army, for DARPA, satellite computer vision tracking applications. Then he goes at the very end of it, my apologies to the human race for my contribution to tyranny.
There are very bad things going on, at least in the United States with the CIA, with torture and interrogation. Now, they've improved their methods. It can all be done wirelessly now. So you can insert maximum pain into a human being, and maybe it's for interrogation.
But yeah, I've been trying to expose this since 2002, I would say. So I've been in the field for over a decade and just trying to expose these technologies, but they've existed much before me and when I worked on them. I can find targeted individuals as far as, you're one of the oldest ones, from 1976 there seemed to be a large increase in targeted individuals using this technology. And then again, every time the military gets a bigger budget, there seems to be more TIs involved. And then of course after 9/11, there was a whole bunch of TIs that were brought into the program. And they're trying to improve on this weapon technology, and they need sample points. And nobody likes to hear they were in the past. You know, the U.S. government purposely chose for a lot of their non-consensual human experimentation programs, poor people, people that were easily discredited, and usually the black community.
Right. Like the Tuskegee experiment, for one, which was the most heinous crime. Well, until now, you know.
Yeah. Until now.
Yeah, until now.
But this hasn't been revealed yet, or people don't accept it yet. This kind of no-touch torture and silent death. But yeah, I think the program has been expanded since then to include all applications of human beings. This is worldwide. I just did an interview with a major news agency for South Korea, and they're saying it's rampant there. Russia has a huge population. China has a huge population.
But in the future, every square inch of every city will be alive with intelligence. Because every street and every building will have a network of microcomputers built right into them. Dr. Chris Piester calls it smart dust.
A smart dust particle, or mote, is a wireless sensor with sensing, computation, communication, and power in one package.
These all-in-one microcomputers will be small, very small.
The size of a mote today is about the size of a grain of rice. And we've shown that we can make the circuitry small enough and light enough that eventually it will be possible to make things that are on a sub-millimeter size scale.
Tiny specks of computer smart dust will form a vast, invisible network that can help manage the infrastructure of even the largest city.
Smart cities in the future will take this low-power, inexpensive, small technology and basically distribute it everywhere.
But smart dust will also allow buildings and streets to recognize you and respond accordingly.
I think increasingly, the environment will respond to who we are and adapt in consequence.
The city will know where you are if you want it to.
Your workplace will know you. Smart dust at the entrance will boot up your computer. And smart dust embedded in the elevator doors will automatically ring your floor.
Smart dust is going to sense the environment and allow us to improve the way that we live our lives.
No matter how we live in the future city, it will be radically different.
Okay, but...
Okay, so wait. So it's really true. So what this means is that becomes my first superpower. I really want this superpower. It means that my arms are like wires, my hands are like alligator clips. When I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that.
So we're not shipping that right away.
Yeah, no. We're not shipping that right away. But it sounds like...
This is FDA cleared?
So here's the thing. This is not science fiction. This pill was actually made by a company called Proteus, and they've developed it for medical applications. That pill has been CE stamped and cleared by the FDA. You can take 30 of those per day for the rest of your life.
And then what happens? Does your heart
Nothing.
beat change? Does your...
We can just tell that you've taken the